Hey, what is going on, you not so nimble Noctowl? Today, going to be playing some games with Victini VMAX. Before we get into the list and I kind of break it down for you guys and explain why Victini is currently viable, I want to give a big shout out to PTCGO Zone and let you guys know about one of their tools, PTCGO Prices, where you guys can look up the price of any card on PTCGO. And the coolest part about the site, in my opinion, is the deck list price tool checker, where you can input a deck list and it'll tell you how much the total deck costs and how much each individual card costs. So it makes it easier for you guys to figure out how many packs you need to actually put a deck together. So let's take a look at Victini. Victini VMAX got the 4/4. It's the only Pokemon in the deck. I'm sure you guys have seen lists with Altaria in it. I've kind of cut the Altaria. It's felt kind of clunky and just not great overall, but liking just the 4/4 Victini VMAX a little bit more. Now, gimmick or I don't know, engine or like reason you can use Victini right now is through energy disruption. I feel like without energy disruption, Victini wouldn't be able to win enough games to kind of keep up in the format. At least this build, I've seen some builds with like Inteleon and Suicune and Umbreon. Those builds probably could, but this straightforward 4/4 Victini VMAX build, I don't think would be able to keep up with anything without some energy disruption. But we've got a lot of it in here. We got 4 Crushing Hammers. We all know and love that one. So a fan of waves to deal with special energy. A lot of special energy going around right now. Some Yell Grunts doesn't really discard the energy or send it back to the deck like the Fan of Waves does, but it still sets our opponent back an energy attachment, which is a really big deal. And a card similar to that kind of does the same thing, just setting our opponent back the energy attachment. They get to reattach the energy from their hand on the next turn, but is Rugged Helmet. It does the same thing. If they attack into us, they put an energy from their attacking Pokemon into their hands. So once again, it kind of sets them back in energy so that when we knock out that first attacker of theirs, their second attacker just isn't set up because we've been setting back their energy or discarding their energy or sending their energy back to the deck with the Fan of Waves. So there's a ton of energy disruption in this deck, and that's really what the deck is all about. Setup Victini, super consistent, super straightforward, just 2 energy, max victory turn 2. We play 4 Quick Ball, 4 Evolution Incense, and then 13 Fire Energy. Now, I know it seems like a lot of Fire Energy, but we can't whiff attachments with this deck. Whiffing an attachment is really bad. We just can't afford to whiff attachments. We're really high in the basic Fire count. We could play stuff like Capture Energy, but I like the heavy basic Fire count because if we go second and we're not sure if our opponent can knock out our active Victini, we can hopefully use Spreading Flames turn 1 to set up 2 different Victinis and be like, okay, we got 2 Victini set up, so if you knock out my active one or my bench one, I still got a Victini ready to go. Whereas if we didn't play a heavy Fire Energy count or didn't even play the Spreading Flames Victini, then our opponent could be like, oh, you attached to your bench Victini V, I'm going to go boss knock that out turn 2 potentially, or you attach to your active one, I'm just going to knock that out. And now you send up a Victini with no energy on it, and you're probably in a pretty bad spot or maybe even just losing the game. So trying to set up that turn 1 Spreading Flames if we do go second is really important. So we play a pretty high basic energy count. Also just whiffing attachments in general, pretty bad. The rest of it, nothing too special to talk about. 4 Boss, 4 Marty, 4 Research, the usual suspects. We play Pokegears. We don't have any other draw engine in the deck. There's no Inteleon. Like I said, I don't play the Altaria. So we got Pokegears in here. And usually if you play the Altaria, you play the Pokegears as well. But no Altaria in my build. You still have the Pokegears to help us find supporters more consistently, whether it be a draw supporter or something more disruptive like a Yell Grunt, or we want to go hit something specific and we go get a boss's orders. And then 4 Path to the Peak because we're trying to be as disruptive as possible. So throw the Path to the Peak in there. This is also like our only way to really beat Shadow Rider. So hope that a path sticks. Also need an out to those pesky Zamazentas. We could just set up like a V with 2 energy, but that's always kind of risky because they could always just KO that with a Zacian before we even get to attack with it because we have no Energy Excel in the deck. So Path to the Peak is just the best route to take. Just 1-hit KO those Zamazentas. Yeah, that's the list. Let's get into some games. Here we go, getting into our first one. We are going first, which definitely is the preferred of the 2 outcomes here. And we got energy. We got our draw supporter. We got some energy disruption to go in this hand as well. This hand is actually pretty sick. It's a pretty clean opening hand. Let's see what we top deck. And before anyone says it, yes, this deck does lose to water decks. We struggle up against the Calyrex, Ice Rider, and Suicune is pretty tough as well. Suicune is beatable, more beatable with a list that plays Tool Jammer. A lot of builds of Victini VMAX play Tool Jammer. I'm not a huge fan of the Tool Jammer personally because I feel like although it is good, it's just like not worth the space. Basically, it's like, okay, this is good, but is it worth the space to try and include? And I think the answer is no. So my opponent has a really slow start here. I actually should have put down the Rugged Helmet last turn. I think I'm just gonna hold the hand and just go with an energy burst. I don't think I can get KO'd, but if I can, that's on me, and I would love to see how it gets done. Yeah, so I'm not concerned with trying to go find a Victini VMAX this turn, but maybe I should be. I have no idea what they're playing. I see the Dark Energy alongside the Sableye, so it makes me think it is Weezing, I guess, or some kind of Sableye deck. My initial thought was maybe Moltres Urshifu when I saw, you know, Sable. Oh, Dark Energy on the Sable. They're going to keep calling out. Then they didn't grab an Urshifu. So now I have no idea what to expect. Here comes the Shady Dealings. Well, I'm sure we'll learn more this turn. And if we don't, we're probably in a pretty good spot. If we learn nothing more about my opponent's deck this turn, we're probably winning the game, to be honest. So I would be fine with that overall. But yeah, the water decks are tough. Suicune is beatable. Like I said, Tool Jammer. A lot of lists play that to give yourself an out, because when they got the Cape of Toughness on the Suicune, like, that's a lot. That's hard to deal with. You are doing 220, but they're only worth 2 prize cards. You're worth 3, and they can one-hit KO you if they get the Ludicolo out, because we can play a pretty low bench, or almost we're forced to play a pretty low bench in that matchup, or all matchups, because, I mean, we only have 4 Pokemon in the deck, so we can never fill our bench, and usually we only have like 2 Victinis in play. Sometimes the third one makes its way into play, but not very often. So not only can we play a very low bench very easily, we're kind of forced to play a very low bench, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, it is a Weezing deck. That's what I thought it would be, and yeah, that's what it is, the Weezing. How do we handle the Weezing? I think is I gotta take damage. How do we handle the Weezing? Is this a bad matchup? Is it a good matchup? I actually don't know. Sableye will be annoying later on for sure. But yeah, initially I'm not sure what to expect here at all. Escape rope up. If they just go with the Ascension, then I'm feeling pretty good. I do definitely want to get another Victini down. Excuse me, I've got a Brokey in my throat or something. Let's see. Boss top deck. I wouldn't mind Boss KO Sable. Take away that option from my opponent. Yeah, I kind of like Boss KO Sable. We can also attach active Boss KO a Drizzile to stop the quick shootings, which can be a big deal in this matchup for sure. The question once again becomes, am I scared of getting knocked out next turn? And I don't think I am. And then I can go attach, knock out the Weezing. But then I have all my energy on this Victini. And then if they KO it, maybe I should just bench attach to the bench and then boss KO the Sob. Or attach KO Drizzile and then still bench it just to be safe. I don't think I'm getting KO'd if I KO the Drizzile, though. This will boost my HP. Yeah, we don't really want to put down Victinis without an energy, because we don't play switch cards in this deck. I don't know if you guys noticed that when we were in the intro looking at the deck list. We don't play switch cards. So if we bench a Victini without an energy, then my opponent can boss it and it gets stuck. We could Spreading Flames, we could attach to it then, but we would rather bench Victinis with energy as we play throughout the game, as opposed to not. So we don't really just want to bench Victini. Now, I am a little bit scared. Maybe I do get punished here. Maybe I lose to the Crazy Claws. Let's find out. Let's find out if I get punished here. Can my opponent get down? There's the Raihan. So they get the Raihan on the Sableye. Can they ping me? They need to ping me, I believe, 3 times. So like quick shooting. They have to move the Weezing. They need a lot with a 2-card hand. I don't think they can do it with a 2-card hand. Here comes the quick shooting. Scoop Up Net wouldn't do it. Yeah, I don't think they can get it. So I think we're safe for a turn. But maybe just safe. Maybe just safe here. There we go. Now we're poisoned. Going to take 4. If we top deck a VMAX and then can gear into a boss, KO Sableye, that would be sick. No such luck. All right. Grab myself another Victini V. I think I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive with these. We really need a draw supporter at this point, so let's hope we get one of those. We found ourselves a research. Definitely don't want a Marnie. Opponent's got a 1-card hand, so we're going to leave that as is. Definitely need to put these down at this point, because if we research them away, then we just have no Victinis to work with, which is not good. Yeah, subpar situation for sure. I could attach active, knock out active. The problem that if I do that, though, is, I mean, then I just don't have any energy in play. I could Spreading Flames next turn to reset up, though. I don't hate it. Let's go for it. Yeah, then we'll plan to follow up with a Spreading Flames, I guess. All right, Energy Burst, knockout. Yeah, it should be pretty easy for my opponent to get the knockout on me with Sableye. They weren't going to struggle with that anyways, though. So, and they only get the 2 prize cards here. They only do get 2 prize. This is not a VMAX. We didn't VMAX it. I'm going to give them these 2. We can VMAX the next 2 Spreading Flames with the VMAX from there. And then we only need 3 prize cards to close this one out. Now, one of the things that we can struggle with, actually, is KOing Inteleons. That's got 150 HP, and it's not a V or a VMAX. So, we actually only do 100 damage to it. And it's swinging for 140 on us. Yeah, Inteleon is actually one of the Victini's biggest enemies, is an Inteleon. So make sure you're mindful of that when you're going up against Inteleon decks, or any deck that has something that has more than 100 HP, that is not a V or a V max. They can be pretty annoying to deal with. So Sableye swinging. I think we should definitely make these just V maxes and then go from there. I don't see a reason to not V max them. Here comes more quick shooting pings. Uh-oh. Here comes some more. This could get... Uh-oh. This could be close. Oh, they picked up the Drizzile there. So no more quick shooting. Okay, so I think we're going to send up this V. double VMAX, Spreading Flames, have just both set up, ready to go. Hope that's enough from there. I don't know if it's going to be honest. We do return the energy to their hand as well, and maybe we even get another Crushing Hammer and can remove this energy and then leave them with no energy in play. That'd be pretty good. Top decked a Heat Energy. Not something I want to top deck. I would love to run into that later in the game. We do have 3 Crushing Hammer left. Let's go ahead and grab these maxes out of the deck. Yeah, the plan is, like I said, it's kind of set up. If we KO that Weezing that turn, we have to go for this like Spreading Flames play, which I like. Once again, still don't hate. Think it'll probably be fine. There's a Crushing Hammer. This could be big. It could be a Tails as well. All right, Spreading Flames. Get 2. We're going to go 1 on the active. Just have it set up ready to go. I don't know if my opponent can KO the active this turn. They maybe can. And then 1 to the bench here. So they're both set up. Even if they knock out the active, we only need an energy on this bench one, so it shouldn't be too hard to pull that off. And even just limiting that 1 extra energy in play from a Rugged Helmet means their second Sableye or their next Sableye that they'll need to kind of close out this game probably is that much further away, which is also a big deal, right? It's also a big deal. That Sableye is that much further away. It's that much further away. We don't have to deal with it quite yet. There's a Weezing. Here comes a Drizzile. And the shady dealings are on the way. What are they going to grab? I wouldn't really mind if they Marnied me here, to be honest. I just got a handful of supporters. I guess I do have the option of the Yell Grunt and the Boss. And I'm hoping we don't get knocked out this turn. So either of those could be pretty strong, actually, on this following turn. And we'll see what happens. I have a feeling they're going to probably go back into the Weezing if they can. Or that's where they probably want to go. I guess I don't know for sure if they want to use Weezing or not. But if I had to guess, I would assume they'd want to use Weezing. Maybe they're just going to go ahead and Boss and knock out this. I guess they couldn't knock us out quite yet. They could just hit it really hard and set up for it to get KO'd next turn through quick shooting, I guess. They could Boss by bench Victini. And in that case, probably go with a Marnie. They've got a pretty big hand, so we'd want to disrupt that. Of course, it might get worked down a little bit here to less of a big hand. We'll see. They only got 7 in the hand now. But yeah, there's that Boss I was talking about. So I assume, attach to the active, swing, knockout. Or not knockout. They get close. They get close. Crazy Claws gets close. So we need an energy here. They don't have a huge hand anymore, but I probably don't want to research. I just need an energy. So I'm probably just going to Marnie. Yeah. We need an energy. Pretty likely to hit it. I think we have 7 basic energy left in a 24 card deck. So it's like over a third. Or about a third. Over a fourth of our deck. So pretty likely to get it. We did get it. All of our bosses are on the bottom of the deck, though, so I think I'm going to shuffle the deck here with this Pokegear. Hey, and we got a boss. I didn't expect to pull one there. I was like, I just want to be able to increase my chances to top deck one, which we definitely did do there. But then, hey, we ran into one. So I guess if my opponent Marnies me this turn, I now still have a higher chance to draw into one. We get a Victini VMAX off the prize cards there. I'm probably not going to utilize those guys this game. And yeah, they send up the Inteleon, which they can actually Raihan to. Oh, this could actually get pretty bad. So they could Raihan here. Now, they do Raihan here, though. They got this Sableye, they got this Drizzile on the bench, which we have this Boss, so we just win. If they're not Marnieing us, we get to keep our hand. We have this Boss in hand. I mean, they might not have anything besides the Raihan, and that does mean they can set up Inteleon on one turn. They can actually get double quick shooting in play, KO this Victini, and then get a hit in onto my next Victini VMAX. But if these low HP dudes just kind of chill on the bench, we do just win through bringing one of them up and knocking it out. We'll see what else they pull out this turn. Drizzile for Incense. I'm sure the Incense is grabbing, like I said, the other quick shooting, so they can double quick shooting my active. Oh, they actually only need 1. I actually have 20 HP left. I thought I had more than 20, but yeah. Victini is a 310. All right, there it is. The quick shooting knocked out. Like I said, if they don't get a scoop up net, pick up this Drizzile, we can just knock out the Drizzile. A Rugged Helmet here would have been really sick. Or, yeah, a Rugged Helmet on this one would have been really sick, actually. Because then if a Rugged Helmet happened, they'd lose 1 energy. If we get a Crushing Hammer heads, they lose another energy. And then we could freely hit into the active, even if they scoop up at the Drizzile. But there was just a waterfall. So we defeat an Inteleon deck in this first one. The Sableye, Weezing, Inteleon with this boss play. Max victory for our final prize card. Picking up a KO on this Drizzile for the dub. You get to go first in this one. Take advantage of that. And just hopefully get an energy. Because we kind of have to open Victini because we only play Victini as a Pokemon. So we have to open up Victini V, which is like another, I guess, kind of good thing, but sometimes it doesn't feel that great if we go second is, yeah, kind of a good thing. It's just we know we get to always open up with our optimal starter if we go first. But of course, we are only playing 4 Pokemon, so our opponent usually gets a mulligan or two, and it looks like they're going to get at least one here. There's our Victini. Pretty good hand as well. We got double energy, got the rugged helmet. Have a quick ball, but probably not going to play it. And then have a path to the peak, which we'll see if we play or not. Yeah, 3 mulligans. You don't love to see that, but can't have it all. We're up against a Sableye deck. Let's see what kind of Sableye deck here on this next turn. There's so many of them. Yeah, I got no clue. Let's find out. What are they rocking? Is it just Sableye? Could it just be Inteleon? I doubt it. It could be Inteleon VMAX. That I wouldn't be too surprised about. But we're probably looking at some kind of Suicune, Jolteon, Dragapult. And it is the Dragapult. All right. This one I think is a pretty good matchup overall, actually, to be honest. I think this one's a pretty good matchup. Because Energy Disruption is just really good against Dragapult. And it's something Dragapult hasn't had to deal with for a while because it hasn't even been played. But now it's being played. Energy Disruption is not super heavy. So, but we're rocking it. Pretty good against them. Rugged Helmet's going to be good. Crushing Hammers are going to be good. So, yeah, feeling pretty good. And let's figure out if they're playing Crushing Hammers as well. A lot of... Whoa! Leafeon Dragapult. Okay, that's different. It's the first time I've seen this. Definitely new to me. Leafeon and Dragapult in the same deck. It's a little bit weird. Here comes a Marnie from my opponent. It's a little bit weird because Dragapult takes Psychic. Leafeon does take Grass Colorless, so you could get a Psychic involved on there. But just because Dragapult takes Psychic, I feel like that's a little bit too much in one deck. I guess we would have got benefit of putting out the Path to the Peak aggressively. Oh, but my opponent does it for us. And, oh, okay. I was like, now they lose access to Greeting Cells, but it looks like they have other plans as the Keep Calling comes down. But our hand looks sick. Got the energy, got the VMAX. So I'm feeling good about our situation. And top deck research, I don't like playing draw support, like using research to discard Marnies with this deck too much. But my opponent didn't have, like, I don't know, they didn't have that good of a turn. Like, they got out Sableye. But, like, that's it. I think I'm just going to go ahead and research here. Draw a new hand. I kind of want a quick ball away in energy. But I think I'm just going to hold the hand here. Keep the quick ball around because I don't want to bench the Victini V. Like I mentioned, we don't play switch cards. So if I put a Victini V down on this, you're like, all right, I'm just going to boss that. We're just like, that sucks for us. We're just like, that sucks. They boss it. We can't move it. So we really want to attach an energy the same turn. So I could have quick balled for the V and not benched it. But that still feels pretty awkward to just like put it down there or have it in the hand. And then if we get Marnied, the V goes to the bottom of the deck. The quick ball is gone. We have less outs to get Vs, which at some point that'll probably become optimal to have less outs to Vs. But in the current situation, we do want to set up another VMAX, right? This first VMAX might not carry us all the way through, especially when we have to deal with potentially Inteleons and stuff like that. Yeah, VMAX doesn't do a whole ton of damage to Inteleons. Doesn't do a whole ton of damage to Drizzles either, but thankfully Drizzle doesn't have very much HP, so those can't really wall for my opponent. But they could definitely actually set up Inteleons, and those things are annoying. So knowing we do have to potentially deal with that kind of stuff, we definitely want to set up another V into a VMAX or have that option as soon as possible. Here comes the Raihan from my opponent. So they were pretty ready to go as a response to me knocking out that Sableye. And that's probably why they sent up the Sableye the way they did. They're like, well, I got level balls, find Raihan. So maybe Marnie would have been a little bit better overall if I had done that. But they still have to get the VMAX, get another energy for it. But it looks like they've got that. But they're only doing 130 damage. I don't have a bench Pokemon for them to take advantage of. And the Rugged Helmet in play, sending the energy back to their hand, which means next turn, the bigger thing is always next turn, the energy, for them to do a big attack again, they got to attach it. We could actually hit a Yell Grunt here off this Poke Gear, which is what we're looking for sure. All right, we did whiff. We were looking for it. Did not work out. Let's see if we can find a Crushing Hammer, maybe. Still need to find a heads, or still need to get a heads, even if we find one. We did find one. Do we get the heads? No. All right. 220 when my opponent only has one energy on their active still isn't bad. The rest of the hand, not so good, though. Just a bunch of energy and a path. But we got plenty of time and probably some prize cards to work with before we have to truly worry about potentially having no options in the hand. They're actually going with a boss on my bench, Victini, here. They're hitting it. Let's see how much damage would I have, or how much HP do I have left? 80. Do I want to go to 100 HP left? I don't think so. I think I want to save this for another. Oh, but they have 100 HP left, so I actually can't go attach Knockout because of the Rugged Helmet, actually. I can go attach Retreat, which I think I'm going to do here to get this Knockout. I really do want to get this Knockout here. Now, this does put me in that spot again where if they boss this, they can kind of trap it for a turn. But they'd be bossing up a V that I can then use Spreading Flames with. So I'm not too, like, concerned with that, to be honest. Like, that would be kind of fine. I was just Spreading Flames, set up a bunch of energy on a different Victini, and then we'd probably be in a fine spot. Here comes the Drizzile, which I'm sure they want to make it into an Inteleon to kind of tank out this situation for them. Give them a turn. There's a new Dragapult. Even though they have a Dragapult, they can't make it a VMAX this turn. There's a Marnie. So Lucin, pretty big hand, but there was like 3 Quick Balls and a Path to the Peak and a Fan of Waves, which I don't even know if they play Special Energy, to be honest. And the Drew draw hand was okay. I do want to set up like a fresh Victini VMAX, though, I feel like. So I don't really want to make this one a VMAX, but I definitely could. Net on the Drizzile. They got to be setting up the other Drizzile then in that situation. And they don't make it into an Inteleon, which is a big deal for us. So we drew the VMAX, but I don't really want to make this one a VMAX, like I said. But maybe it's just too good to not, like, it's just like taking advantage of it now, which means I do kind of want to do this, shuffle this VMAX to the bottom of the deck before I Marnie, because I don't really want to draw into that then. If this thing's already a VMAX, I got my 2 VMAXs for the game. I'm trying to find energy and energy disruption. So I'm going to throw the heat over here. And then just take the knockout. We're still just going to be aggressive turn after turn. I'm not going to like sit here and not take this knockout. And they don't want to KO us. We do have 150, and then this thing is still got 200 HP. So we got some time to work with here. And we're just a boss away from winning the game, whether that be KO the Leafeon or KO the Sableye, or if it becomes a Drizzile, we still get the knockout there as well. But even then, I think we could just maybe go through this Dragapult VMAX this turn as well. I don't think we actually even have to go winning the next turn. We could just do a KO the Dragapult VMAX, and we should just be in a fine spot. Yeah, the Rugged Helmets have bought us a lot of time in like delaying my opponent's attackers. So you saw those first couple attacks, they attacked into this Victini, and the Rugged Helmet was like, all right, take your energy back, take your energy back. And this means that sure, they attack every single turn. And here finally comes a Tool Scrapper down for my opponent. Sure, they attack every single turn, but they're not building up their next attacker. So when their first attacker finally goes down, they don't have a follow-up attack to work with usually, which is why the Rugged Helmets are so good as like energy disruption or energy control, whatever you want to say. On your opponent, on my opponent's side of the field. There's the boss. I was like, if they're Marnieing us here, we haven't seen a boss in a little while. Good chance we rip one, and we do. Just gonna go ahead and boss knock out that Drizzile and close this one out. And yeah, Rugged Helmets were really the MVP of that one, I think, for sure. Delaying my opponent's next attack. Like, they were able to attack with that Dragapult, you know, until it got KO'd, but after it got KO'd, nothing else to follow up with. Pretty free dub. Going second in this one. At least one mulligan going down, but my opponent also mulliganed once, so that could be, you know, we could break even here. But here comes my second mulligan, and I don't think my opponent's going to be mulliganing twice. I don't know, maybe we got a Victini. No, another Dragapult. Dragapult is everywhere all over the ladder. All right, let's see if we can take out another Dragapult here in this one. First, got to find our Victini. And yeah, we're going second, which never feels great, but a Yell Grunt start is pretty good. So being able to just go Yell Grunt, their first energy, that's going to be pretty sick. And then we have a boss follow-up, so depending on what happens, maybe we can just like chase knock out their Dragapult. But yeah, it's going to be pretty clean start from us for sure. Maybe they even whiff the energy attachment. I feel like that's pretty unlikely, but they could, and then we have that much more to work with kind of going into the next turn. And I could go with a Spreading Flames this turn to just get 2 energy and play immediately. So even if they like Marnie next turn, I'm guaranteed to have 2 energy on my Victini V, and that's like one less thing I have to find. So I probably will do that as well. It also means I can start to set up my next Victini that much sooner. So we're probably going to go Quick Ball and Energy, hold the Victini V. I'm not going to bench it, like I mentioned. Can't let them boss it. But using the Spreading Flames aggressively right now definitely could be a big difference maker. I'm going to get the Victini. Attach Yell Grunt, Spreading Flames to my active. And because we Yell Grunt here, my opponent might try and go out of the way to not Marnie. So like, well, I mean, I used Yell Grunt as a supporter for the turn, but my turn was so clean. I think my opponent should be able to pick up on the fact that we probably have something going on. We're just like not, we're just like taking it slow because our hand kind of allows us to do it. But we'll see what they do from here. We know they got the Horror Energy in hand, which they can throw down. We do play a couple Fan of Waves, so we can take advantage of those Horror Energy pretty aggressively. Unlike the Crushing Hammers, which are that coin flip, the Fan of Waves are just like, oh, you have a special energy. Oh, no. Oh, maybe yes, though. Maybe they are actually going to set up Drizzile to be an Inteleon. I was like, oh, no, is that a misclick? But it's probably not. They're probably trying to set up Inteleon to deal with our Victini. Like I said, we can't attack Inteleon. Well, we can. We can't KO Inteleon in one hit. We have to 2-KO Inteleon. It's a one-prize Pokemon that is doing 140 damage, 280 over 2 attacks. So a couple quick shootings usually cleans us up. And it looks like that's what my opponent's going for. We are going to boss KO this Drizzile, though. Kind of set my opponent back on that. I'm actually surprised that they didn't hold the hand. They had 2 energy in there, which if I start finding some Crushing Hammers and hitting some heads, those are going to be a little bit harder to come by for my opponent. So if they know how the matchup works, I'm surprised that they didn't hold on to the energy a little bit longer there. because it seems like they got a pretty good idea. They're attaching to the Drizzile. They're trying to make that into an Inteleon, trying to attack with that on the next turn. Maybe they'd also have to be able to move this Dragapult, which, I mean, they probably play a switch or two. I don't know for sure, but they probably do. Here comes a Goon, which does actually matter in the damage. So Inteleon does 140, 280 over 2 turns, and then they would just need 1 ping. But yeah, we got this boss for this Drizzile, so we're going to take advantage of that. Set my opponent back another turn. That's what the Victini deck is almost like all about. Set your opponent back a turn through Crushing Hammers and Yell Grunts. Set them back a turn by taking a knockout finally, taking all their energy out of play, Rugged Helmet, so on. It's all about just setting your opponent back a turn as often as you possibly can. And then we just get like a free turn to play the game and just hit again with max victory. And we do that just as often as we possibly can. And here comes the research. They're probably going to be able to get an energy on another Drizzile. We don't have another boss to work with, unfortunately. So we're going to have to go down the Marnie route and look for those Crushing Hammers. Crushing Hammer is going to be our look now. Try and get Crushing Hammers. Try and get a heads and remove that energy from play instead. And if they attach a horror energy, which that is going to make up a decent amount of their energy here soon, usually like 3 or 4 basic energy and then 4 horror energy is the energy count, can start to reset those, which will be a very big deal in like delaying my opponent's attack. So also, just like the fact that they don't one-hit KO us with the Inteleon means we have plenty of time to like set up multiple Victinis and start responding from there. Once again, didn't bench this last turn. Don't want it to get bossed or escape roped. I guess that's like another thing. All right, Yell Grunt or Boss would be sick here. Boss is pretty good. Drizzile again. Once again, all about resetting them for just 1 turn. They are now set behind back another turn as they have to try and get another Drizzile in play. And there's a Yell Grunt to potentially set back their next energy attachment. This is going so beautifully so far. We're just going to keep cruising. A boss would be better, though. I'm not going to lie. A boss would be better to just boss KO the Drizzile. I'm sure the Sableye is looking to become a Drizzile, and they're just starting to run out of Drizziles in general. And one of the things I picked up on is they quick balls for Zigzagoon, which was like, okay, this damage makes sense, like I explained. They hit us with the quick shooting Inteleon twice, and they quick shooting us once, and we're knocked out. But you didn't have to be that aggressive about it. But actually, they benched the 4th Sableye. Okay, I was going to be like, they quick ball for Goon, which makes you think they prize the 4th Sableye, because getting the Goon right then kind of made no sense when you could get a Sableye. But it looks like I'm wrong. It looks like I'm wrong. They did not prize the 4th Sableye. It's right there. So I guess I'm just wrong. But they whiff everything this turn. I have Energy Disruption in the hand, so I see no reason not to just hold this hand. I have Yell Grunt and a Crushing Hammer, and that's all I need to do at this point is remove or set back energy, and we will win the game for sure. We are so far ahead at this point. Those boss knockouts on those Drizziles, super clean. I do like the route my opponent took. I think it's probably the proper route to take. So unfortunate that we had that turn 2 boss into turn 3 boss. And now we're looking at a Yell Grunt and a Crushing Hammer. Here comes a Marnie from my opponent. So it's going to set us back a little bit, but we have so many draw supporters in the deck. So much other stuff to work with. I'm not really worried about bricking here. We could, of course, and not a great shot. We did get the Fan of Waves. So if they only find a Horror Energy, which I'm just going to refresh myself on this. They can attach this to any Pokemon, right? Yeah, they can attach this to any Pokemon. And yeah, there we go. They're going to go with a Shred this turn, but we're going to be able to reset that energy and then pop them for 220. Now going off of that Drizzile plan, but it looks like they whiffed a Drizzile, so maybe that's why they're choosing just to attach active, bench attach. I'm gonna go ahead and play the Evolution Incense. There was 2 Marnies on the bottom of our deck, so we want to shuffle those back into the rest of the deck because we do want to find a draw supporter. It also thins the Victini VMAX out of the deck, so now we don't draw top deck this, over the next couple turns potentially, and then just get rid of their energy. Max victory 220, a lot of damage on board, super far ahead, and there is the concede. Super clean game 3. Couldn't have asked for it to go any better. I guess it could have gone better, but can't ask for it to go any better. That's gonna do it for these games with the Victini deck. If you guys are specifically looking to beat like Zacian and Dragapult, this is a pretty good deck right now. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like. If you're new here and enjoying the content, be sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.